Bardstown, Kentucky, the Sixers weekend. I thought we were just going to go to Bardstown in the beginning to just do, to go back to Flagey, where the house where Mother was living in when she met Daddy, because the song says that she went to work at Greyhound, and then that bus from Chattanooga, Tennessee forever changed her life. Here we are!
Mama was born and raised in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Ta-da! It's where Mama was born and raised, where it started.
The fact that my parents met at the Greyhound bus station and fell in love, and there were a lot of people that talked about they were the romance of Bardstown because they only knew each other for about 3 weeks and then they ran off and got married.
I remember this sidewalk being little because I always tripped on it.
The sidewalk has always been the same size, Donna. It's always been the same size. It's never been little.
No, it's uneven.
You said, I remember when this sidewalk was little. We want to go back to Bardstown, where Mom was born and raised. And when we went back to Bardstown, we discovered that our great-great-great-great-grandfather was a Revolutionary War hero. Now, his name was William Proctor Ballard. They called him Proctor, and that's the same Proctor that was his mother's maiden name of the people in Boonesboro.
But the other thing that we kind of stumbled across was where you see us doing the side-by-side song, which is the old cobblestone path that connected Bardstown to Louisville. And when we ran across that, I had remembered being little bitty and Mom talking about her trips into Louisville with her dad when she was little.
One of the oldest paved roads in all Kentucky. By 1785, this was the original entry to Bardstown from the east and part of the legendary Wilderness Road. This is the cobblestone path that Mom talked about, that she and her family, her dad would load up the wagon, the horse-drawn wagon, and they would take an all-day trip and go into Louisville to gather up all their supplies and come back. This is the cobblestone path that they
Did we say this is a cobblestone path?
They're in a buggy, horse-drawn buggy that they take all the way from Bardstown into Louisville on this cobblestone path.
This is where my mommy, with her family in the wagon, traveled to Louisville. So does it just kind of end down there?
Well, it does now. They cut it off and paved new roads.
Oh, I see. That's why the Congress enacted to save it, because people were tearing it up.
Yep.
She said they only did this trip twice a year, and then they would load the wagon up and come back to Bardstown.
This is so cool. Keep that camera going for when she falls.
How many places can you go where they will show you Bardstown's cobblestone path? And this is one of the oldest paved roads in all Kentucky.
I remember her saying they would start out when it was dark, the sun hadn't come up just yet, and when they came back home, it would be dark. She said Granddaddy was always in a hurry to get back. He wanted to get back before it got too dark. But that last bit of the trip back into Bardstown, she said it would get dark.
This is what Mom did in the wagon.
That was an all-day trip for them. So to kind of stumble across this cobblestone path, I thought that was really neat. It brought back a lot of memories of her sitting around the table while we were having lunch, telling us about her trips into Louisville.
Oh my golly, what happened to my spunk?
It was very interesting to go back and to see, how people came together. Our roots are deep in Kentucky. There's generations. We had generations of family that was traveling that cobblestone path. And Proctor Ballard was one of the first landowners in Bardstown.
Are we on the road to reality?
There were a lot of families that came to Kentucky that the Indians, they were scalped by the Indians or they were killed. They have no grandchildren and great-grandchildren to talk about them today. But our family survived, and we are able to say today that we are this family that came out of Bardstown, Kentucky.
This is the road to reality.